Course Selection Discussion.
Good morning, Yusuf and Grace. I have your course selection forms, but neither of you has confirmed the optional modules yet.
Thanks, Helen. My timetable matters, and I would rather avoid another written examination, but my main aim is to gain practical skills that employers value.
My priorities are slightly different. Business finance could be useful, and research communication may help with assignments, but climate policy is the subject that interests me most.
In that case, environmental economics might appeal to both of you. It connects economic decisions with climate policy.
I considered it. Is the problem that its lectures start at 8 in the morning?
No, those early lectures belong to international trade. Environmental economics requires the first-year statistics course.
I have not completed statistics, so I cannot take it this year. I will need another option.
I completed statistics, but I am uncertain about choosing a course that Yusuf cannot join. We plan to study at least one module together.
Yusuf, you listed project management as your first idea. Grace, research communication would suit your writing goals.
They both sound useful, but they would place us in different classes. Is there a practical module open to both of us?
Yes. Data visualization has no prerequisite, and students work with real survey results.
That would help me present climate data clearly. I would be happy to choose data visualization.
Me too. Let's select data visualization as our shared module.
There are two versions. The Thursday lecture finishes half an hour earlier, while the Tuesday seminar has a smaller group.
I learn more when I can ask questions, so the smaller seminar group sounds better.
I agree. We will choose the seminar version, even though it finishes later.
Good. The seminar takes place on Tuesday afternoon from 2 until 4.
How is it assessed? An older student told me there was a written examination.
That was the previous format. The main assessment is now a digital portfolio completed throughout the term.
Do we need to collect a printed reading list from the department office?
No. The complete reading list is available online through the course page.
Classes begin next Monday. Can we wait until then to register?
No, registration closes this Friday. Submit your choices before 5 o'clock.
Could we meet again, after registration, to check that our timetables do not overlap?
Certainly. Come to room 18 next Wednesday at 11.
Did you say room 81?
No, room 18, 18. I will also write it in the confirmation email.
Great. We will register by Friday, and see you in room 18 next Wednesday.
Field trip planning.
Omar and Lewis, we need to finalize the environmental science field trip. The assessed aim is to compare water quality at 2 sampling points. We can note birds and footpaths, but those are not the main purpose.
I thought West Bay would be a good location because the river meets the sea there.
It is not especially far, and our department already has permission to visit. The problem is the tide. Its timing changes, so we could arrive when the sampling area is underwater.
Unpredictable tides would make the schedule risky, so we should reject the coastal site.
What about Greenbank Nature Reserve? It has a stream, a pond, and safe paths between them.
Hillford Forest is another possibility, but it has only one suitable water sampling point.
Then Greenbank gives us the comparison we need. Let's settle on Greenbank Nature Reserve.
How will we get there? The train is cheap, although the station is nearly 3 kilometers from the reserve.
We could hire a coach, but there are only 18 students, so a full-sized coach seems unnecessary.
The department minibus has enough seats and can take us directly to the entrance. We will travel by minibus.
We should divide the fieldwork responsibilities. I can take photographs of each sampling area.
I have used the department's GPS device before, so I can record the exact locations.
Good. Lewis will record the GPS locations, Omar will take photographs, and I will supervise the water tests.
What personal equipment should everyone bring? I have waterproof boots, but some students may not own them.
The department can lend waterproof boots. However, every student must bring waterproof gloves, because we do not have enough spare pairs.
Should students work in pairs during the sampling?
Pairs might finish quickly, but we have only 5 testing kits.
Teams of 4 will match the equipment and allow everyone to share the tasks. We will use groups of 4.
For lunch, could we use the picnic area beside the pond?
That would be pleasant if the weather stays dry, but the forecast mentions rain.
The visitor center has an indoor room for school groups. We will eat lunch in the visitor center instead.
What time should the minibus leave campus? 8 o'clock would give everyone time to arrive.
Traffic becomes heavy after 8, and we need to begin sampling by 9.
Then the final departure time will be 7:45. Everyone should meet outside the science building 10 minutes earlier.
The main trip is scheduled for the 15th of May. Do we need a backup date in case the stream floods?
The 29th is available, but that may be too late for our reports.
Agreed. The reserve can take us on the 22nd of May, 1 week after the main date. We will use the 22nd as our backup date.
Fine. I will send the transport and equipment details to the class this afternoon.
Study strategy discussion.
Marcus and Zoe, your first progress test showed that you understand the course content, but both of you need a more consistent study strategy.
I agree. I study hard before a deadline, but during an ordinary week I do not have a clear routine.
I put assignment dates in my phone calendar, although I do not plan specific study periods.
Start by creating a weekly timetable. Include lectures, independent study, rest, and other commitments so the plan is realistic.
Should Zoe and I study together every day? I find that group study often becomes distracting because the conversation moves away from the course.
I understand that, but discussing difficult topics with someone else can still be useful once or twice a week.
Perhaps. I usually make long summaries after each lecture.
Long summaries take me too much time. I recommend flashcards for key terms because they are quicker to review.
I have never found flashcards useful for detailed explanations, but they may work for vocabulary.
Use different methods for different tasks.
Textbook exercises can test your understanding after you review a topic.
Could we also include past examination papers? They would show whether I can answer questions under pressure.
Yes, past papers should be part of the strategy once you have reviewed the main topics.
Marcus and I could compare our weekly plans before we begin.
You may compare them, but send your first progress plan to me as well. I will check whether the workload is balanced.
How long should each study session be? I sometimes work for 90 minutes without stopping.
90 minutes is too long for concentrated work. Use focused periods of 4 to 5 minutes, followed by a short break.
Where should we study? The library cafe is convenient if we need to discuss something.
The cafe becomes noisy at lunchtime. For individual work, I would prefer the quiet floor of the library.
That is sensible. Use the quiet floor for individual study and reserve the cafe for short discussions.
I normally review lecture notes the next morning. Is that soon enough?
Try to review them the same evening while the information is still fresh.
We also need a regular practice test. Could we do the first one next Sunday?
I work on Sundays, but Saturday afternoon is free.
Then schedule the first timed practice test for Saturday, and use Sunday only for checking mistakes if necessary.
When should we meet you again? The 10th of October would give us several weeks to test the plan.
That is too late to correct problems. Let us meet on the 3rd of October, after you have followed the strategy for 1 full week.
Fine. We will bring our timetables, flashcards, and practice test results on the 3rd of October.
This plan feels more manageable than simply studying longer every day.
Research method discussion.
Amir and Theo, your project proposal says you want to investigate food waste in the university cafeteria. You may consider prices and favorite meals as possible causes, but food waste must remain the central topic.
We first thought about giving students a questionnaire after they finish eating.
Printing would not cost much, and the cafeteria serves hundreds of students, so we would receive plenty of responses.
The weakness is accuracy. Some students may claim they finished everything even when they left food, so reported answers may not match their actual behavior.
Then a questionnaire should not be our main method. Could we interview cafeteria staff instead?
Staff interviews would provide useful background, but they would not tell us how much food students leave each day.
Correct. You need a method that produces measurable data.
We could photograph every unfinished meal and classify the pictures later.
That would create hundreds of images. What if we collect the discarded food and weigh it?
Weighing discarded food will give you comparable numerical results. Use that as the primary research method.
Weight alone will not explain why food is left. Should we add a short observation?
We could count empty tables or record the time students wait in the queue.
Those details do not explain the waste directly. Observe the return area briefly and note visible reasons why food is left, such as portions being too large.
Fine. The observation will help us identify why food is left without questioning every student.
We need permission to work near the return area. I can contact the cafeteria manager.
I already know the manager from my part-time job, so it will be easier for me to explain the project.
Good. Amir will contact the manager and Theo can prepare the recording sheet.
How long should we collect data? 2 weeks would show differences between the menus.
2 weeks will produce more data than you can analyze. Collect measurements over 5 consecutive days.
Should we measure waste at breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Dinner has fewer customers, but comparing all 3 meals could still be interesting.
Keep the project manageable. Lunch is the busiest period, so take measurements during lunch only.
The cafeteria has ordinary kitchen scales. Can we use those?
Their measurements may not be precise enough for small amounts.
The science department can lend you digital scales. I will reserve them for the collection week.
We should test the procedure before the 5-day study. Could we run the pilot on Monday?
Monday is the cafeteria's busiest delivery day, and the staff will not have time to help us.
Move the pilot to Tuesday afternoon. You can test the scales and recording sheet after lunch service.
Our full project proposal is not due until December. When is the ethics form required?
Submit the ethics form by November 12th. Without approval, you cannot begin observing students.
Tuesday for the pilot and the 12th of November for the ethics form. I will add both dates to our plan.
I will speak to the cafeteria manager tomorrow and confirm access to the return area.
Essay feedback meeting.
Elena and Jacob, I have read your joint essay on remote work and productivity. The academic vocabulary is generally accurate, and the conclusion is organized, but the strongest part is your use of contrasting case studies.
We spent a long time choosing companies from different industries, so I am glad that section works.
We were less confident about the introduction. Elena thought it might be too long.
Yes, and perhaps we should shorten the opening definition of remote work.
The length is acceptable, and you do include a definition. The main problem is that the research question is not stated clearly enough.
We can rewrite the final sentence of the introduction so the question is explicit.
Good. Now, let us check the evidence. Your first web source discusses employee productivity, but I cannot find a named author.
I thought the problem was its publication date.
No. Another report in your list is older, but it comes from a recognized research institute. Remove the web source because readers cannot identify its author.
We will replace it with a journal article from the university database.
The case studies contain a lot of separate figures. Should we add a historical timeline to show when each company changed its policy?
A productivity graph might be more useful than a timeline.
Both could add unnecessary detail. A comparison table would let readers see the differences between the two companies quickly.
A comparison table is clearer. We can include working hours, productivity, and staff turnover.
Agreed. Add one compact comparison table after the second case study.
I can also check the reference list while I revise the introduction.
I already used the required referencing software, so I can check the formatting and missing publication details.
That is more efficient. Jacob will check the reference list, and Elena will revise the introduction.
Which body section needs the most editing? I wondered whether the statistics section was too detailed.
Keep the statistics because they support your argument. The section about the history of remote work is much longer than necessary, so shorten the history section.
We can reduce it to one paragraph and keep only the changes that relate to the case studies.
Exactly. You also discuss productivity and business costs in detail, but employee well-being receives only 2 sentences.
We found a recent survey about stress and isolation. We can add that evidence.
Please do. The essay needs stronger evidence about employee well-being to balance the business perspective.
For the conclusion, should we recommend future research into hybrid working?
You may mention future research briefly, but first acknowledge the limitations of your own study, especially the small number of case studies.
So the conclusion will state the limitations before giving recommendations.
When is the revised draft due? I wrote Friday in my calendar.
Friday is the final submission date. Send me the revised draft by Wednesday so I have time to comment.
Can we meet again after you read it? The old email says room 72.
That room is no longer available. Our next feedback meeting will be in room 27 at 2 o'clock.
Wednesday for the revised draft and room 27 for the next meeting. I will update our shared plan.
I will begin checking the references and create the comparison table today.